It's working. Hey.
All right. I'm gonna have to throw the AirPods in. I'm having.
Okay, should I go get them too then? Good idea.
Possibly, yeah. I'm just gonna let everybody trickle in, and then I'll do the intro. I'm just gonna kind of sit here till 9 o'clock.
Okay.
All right, so I turned the questions off till the end, so that'll help us out there. And then once we wrap up, I'll turn the questions back on.
Let's see. If I pull away from the screen, will I be able to come back?
Yeah. You're fine. I'm gonna pretty much just let it sit here for another 5 more minutes till everybody trickles in, and I'll do the introduction and we'll get started. Can you hear me okay?
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you.
I think you can't. These are not. Hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to be right back. I think it'll still work, right?
Yep, you're good. You're good. We got time.
Okay, so I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, we are good there.
Yes.
I know. It's a good thing we tested that out.
Thank God. See? Your brain is like always on.
Yeah, it's a wonder how I sleep good at night.
You don't or you do?
No, I do, which is really weird considering my mind always turns 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, because when people think when their brain is constantly on, they don't actually sleep very well.
Yeah, I sleep like a baby.
So do I most of the time. So I'm just finishing up to sleep at night. I know, because there's so much anxiety. I should have popped on TikTok and told people, like, I'm going to go over there right now, but I wonder what they would have done, you know?
Well, I thought about the same thing, too. I just wanted to make sure that we got back there on time. All right, I'll start at 9 sharp. I'm letting everybody trickle in here.
They can see that we're live, right? Yeah. So are we going to record this?
On my end, you know what, I'm not on my end. I think you can. I'm just afraid to hit because this is, like I said, the first time with you. This is the first time I'm co-hosting. So I'm worried to even touch anything else. I'm just going to let it flow. And if you're recording, I'll let you send that to me at a later time. But on my end, I'm not going to touch anything.
Well, we're on this, so it won't.
Actually, I am going to get it recorded. I'm going to have somebody record. I'm not personally, but I will have somebody do it.
Okay.
All right, 4 more minutes here.
There's more traffic on TikTok, but do they do duos on there?
No, that's the problem. Uh-oh.
Because that would be fun.
Somebody's saying we're frozen on their screen. I mean, I have questions turned off for right now, but somebody's saying we're frozen. Yeah, Jamboni, you have time. I'm not starting until 9 sharp.
Hi, Jen. What that means. I think I'm going to get I think I'm going to grab that really quick and just maybe stick it here.
Oh, you're fine. We got time. You got
to just
yeah, we got time.
All right.
I'm going to step away for a couple minutes. We'll be back. I'm going to start at 9 sharp, and then I'll do the introductions and let you guys know how this is going to run down.
Did I just break this? No, it's not working. So Jen, is it you that's saying that it's frozen? Like what's frozen? I wish they would play some music. I don't know where it's frozen, so.
I think she was going to restart and come back in.
Happy Saturday night.
There you go. There you go. One more minute here and we'll get started.
But it's early by you. You can still go out. It's kind of late over here.
Yeah, it's 9 here. Mm-hmm. Well, it's about to be 9.
But is anything open late?
You know, that's very interesting because they've got some different dynamics going on. So it's hit and miss on what's actually open and what's not. All right. So it is 9. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm sure people will yeah, it's midnight here. I'm sure some people will be showing up late. But so I do have questions turned off. We're going to turn questions on near the end. The last 15 minutes, we're going to allow you guys to ask some questions. First and foremost, I wanted to introduce my special guest with me. We had some conversation a couple weeks back. We decided it would be a great collaboration. This young lady's name is Red Flag CEO is her TikTok name.
TikTok.
Is her TikTok name. She has some great insight. She's great at what she does. She's great at her craft. I thought she would be awesome to have on the show. So go ahead and take the floor, introduce yourself, and then I'll go ahead and ask the first question to you.
So first of all, Brandon, thank you for having me. I feel so honored and so excited. My name is Anastasia, and I am the Red Flag CEO. And actually, TikTok gave me that name. I didn't have that name. I was incognito for a long time because I just wanted to see if anyone would have interest in that. So anyway, the red flags that I see, they just come naturally. So that is how Red Flag was born. So that's a little bit about me. Do you want to share with the viewers about yourself?
Yep, absolutely. So some of you have been with me since the beginning. I've been life coaching and mentoring since 2007. And I really decided a couple years ago, I want to take this full-fledged, got introduced to the platform. I got introduced to TikTok and thought, what a more, TikTok's hot right now. We've got quarantine going on. So many people are home. Now would be a time to really blow this up. A lot of people are in a broken state right now. They need help. They need help mending broken hearts. They need help getting out of divorce. They need help healing scars from narcissism, from emotional abuse. And I just felt that the Lord was heavy on my heart, did a lot of praying, and now is the time to really launch this. So TikTok really helped, and I'm taking it to a whole other level. I'm going to be doing a lot of collaborations. There's going to be another great guest the next time we do this. We're going to so the agenda for tonight is I'm going to ask Red Flag 5 questions. We're going to ping pong 5 questions back and forth. She has 5 questions for me. I have 5 questions for her. We're going to ask them one at a time. After those 5 questions, we're going to allow you guys 15 minutes to ask questions. We're going to pick those questions randomly. She's going to grab a handful. I will grab a handful, and we will answer them to the best of our capabilities. And so that's how the night's going to run down. Thank you all for joining. We look forward to shining that light on you. And we're going to go ahead and start. Red Flag, I'm going to go ahead and ask you the first question. Are you good with that?
Okay, you're going to go first? Good.
Or you can ask.
You want me to go? I was going to go first. Ladies first,
right,
ladies?
That's
okay.
Right.
All right. Okay, so question number 1, which is a hot question from a lot of the ladies is it more appealing for the girl to chase, for the guy to chase the girl or the girl to chase the guy? They all want to know.
All right, great question. So, as you know, as most of you know, I am an old school man's man. I believe in chivalry. I believe in pursuing, not chasing. So
Nice.
I genuinely believe a man should pursue a woman, not chase her. And if there's any question on the difference between chasing and pursuing, I do have some content on that. And if that is one of the questions that you want to ask later, I will do that, the difference between chasing and pursuing. But I'm a firm believer, a true alpha man will pursue and make the first move and allow a woman to feel like a lady and to pursue her. That is my answer to that.
Can I say something
Oh,
really
yes,
quickly?
please.
Yeah, because you know I'm dying to.
Of
That was
course.
that's one of the reasons I wanted the ladies to actually chime on and see this. And so I hope you will get a recording so you can download it and you can probably make it shareable. But I wanted the ladies to understand what a man's man is because there are very few of them. So I'm really delighted. And I knew that Brandon was going to answer that question like that, but I wanted you guys to see that because I think a lot of ladies think that they're supposed to be the ones doing that. And it's a very masculine trait. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's where I'm at.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All
Do
right.
you want to? Okay.
All right. So, question number one for you. And hopefully, I lay this out properly because I did put a lot of thought and energy, just like you. Which your questions, by the way, are fantastic. I love your questions, and I'm excited to answer all of them. All right. So, the first one is what is the difference between a real red flag and someone having way too high of expectations?
Okay. So I did take a couple of minutes to just think about that question. And, I took a couple notes. But the reality, you guys, is that red flags are deal breakers. So I don't think that we all know that. At least I didn't know that back in the day. Okay. So red flags are not something that you keep collecting and you hide them or you toss them in the garbage because you're so desperate to be with somebody to fill you up. And expectations, because I'm always interested in the actual definition of a word. So expectations is a belief that something or someone should be a certain way. So I don't like the word should, right? And if you have that belief that something should be that way, that means that the control is out of your hands. So with the expectation, the control is completely out of your hands. But with the red flag, the deal breaker, it's completely in your hand to set those for yourself. And then also, as far as expectations go, you guys, they're negotiable. You can renegotiate those at certain points in your life, depending on where you are at life. But red flags that are deal breakers are truly non-negotiable. They're based on values, morals, and all that good stuff.
Agree.
Okay. Are you
And
ready for your?
yeah, absolutely. I like this ping pong. This keeps it interactive. I like it, and thank you for answering that one as well. I'm ready when you are. Shoot.
Should we let the people shoot their questions or no?
Well,
Do you
I
want
was
them?
gonna. I have the questions turned off. My thought is just near the end of that last 15 minutes.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
do you think let them chime in now and then answer as we
I don't
go?
know. I'm not really sure.
Are
It
you
was
guys
just a thought.
give me a thumbs up, guys, if you're okay with answering your questions at the very end. Give me a thumbs up. If you want to answer the questions now, we can, but I think it'll take away some of the time. I'd rather keep it streamlined. Let me know what you think. You want to just answer questions at the end? Give me a thumbs up.
Okay, I'm going straight to the second question.
Okay.
Okay. This one was from a lot of the single ladies. They really want to know this. Why do guys put in so much effort just for the hookup, but they pretend the entire time that they want a relationship? There's constant text, calls, a lot of attention, a lot of, kind of like leading the conversations to some type of future. When there are so many women who are just willing to hook up too.
Right.
Why not be straight up and transparent?
So I love that question too. So I'm going to answer that in two parts. So
Okay.
part number one And this is why I coach and mentor a lot of men. A lot of men these days are watered down and they don't know how to have healthy confrontation. So it's a lot easier. I'm going to use the word pray. That may or may not be the right word, but that's what comes to my mind. So they take a situation like that as easy prey. It's a lot easier for them. It's a quick, it's efficient way to hook, line, and sinker rather than putting in work. When they know that they really don't want that person, they're not going to put in the work. They're not going to date them. They're not going to be chivalrous because they know in the end they're wasting their time because all they want is a physical connection. The women that
Mm-hmm.
do want the hookup, men are very territorial. Men are very territorial. And the women that do want the hookup, they don't want, I'll just say it, they don't want somebody that's a back burner. They don't want a sloppy second. They want to have that control. They want to be dominant. And that is the reason why most, not all, but most men will play that game of, hey, I'd rather do the hookup. It's an easy fix for me. I don't need to put in the work, and then I'm going to move on to the next.
Okay, but they do put in the work in the beginning, and then they
Well,
drop them like hotcakes.
well, they fluff, woo woo, which is tied in. Well, and that's also tied into narcissistic behavior because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
narcissists will do that too. It's the love
Mm-hmm.
bombing. It's the, oh, you're beautiful. It's the, oh, you're the
Right.
best thing since sliced bread. They hit it, quit it, and then they're out and on to the next. So that part is easy, though. It's easy for a man to put in the verbal work and the verbal attention. It's not
Mm-hmm.
easy for him to say, hey, I want to date you. I want to meet you here. I want to pick you up, and I want to put in the work. They won't do that for a quick fix and a quick hookup.
I mean, I just want to say something too about this question that a lot of women have for me. I think a lot of women think that they are okay with a hookup, but I don't believe that.
Mm-mm.
That's just my perspective. Um, it's still yet to be like confirmed, you know. If I do my own data, maybe we'll see then. All right. So I think it's your turn. Yeah?
Yep. So we are
Cool.
going. All right. So this is going to be, I can't believe we're already moving down to number 2 right now. All right. So question number 2 for you. What made you get into coaching? What made you want to help men and or women protect themselves from abuse or narcissistic behavior or narcissism?
Okay, so I have been down that road. And I think a lot of people, they don't believe that. So I was organically coaching people without really realizing that I was coaching people. And so I noticed that people would say, oh, you know, that one time when you said that, that stayed with me. And I thought of you. And I thought, what would she say? Or what would she do in this situation? And so if you've really been, though, down the narcissistic, it's beyond a nightmare. It's like knowing an emotional terrorist is what it feels like. And you
Great
do lose
analogy.
yourself, okay? And so you lose yourself, but you really didn't even have yourself when you met that person, realistically. And it's interesting because this person becomes your biggest nightmare, but they also become your biggest teacher. And so because I feel like that is the reason, that is the person who actually demanded of me to start loving myself. I see too many people that are, they think they're completely broken. They're not, I don't believe in being completely broken because you're still functional. So I don't believe in that term. But when you're just so miserable, so sad, I know that there's more to life because I'm on the other side. So I know what that's like. And I feel this, I'm compelled. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's like an inner passion of mine to help and to spread awareness as much as possible because I don't believe that any of us were brought here to just be in misery. We're here
100%.
to be happy, yeah, and just enjoy the life that we were given.
100%.
Yeah.
I want to add to what Holly just wrote. Your emotional terror, that analogy, that comparison, that's amazing. Like that is a great
Mm-hmm.
way to put it. That is a great way to trigger somebody. Like, wow, yes, this person emotionally terrorized me, and
Yes.
it and it's such a trigger, and it's also a release, like you said. The lesson in that being your greatest teacher and your greatest enemy.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep, and I hope that absorbs to a lot of the ladies that have been affected and men, because I know a lot of men that have been affected by narcissism as well. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're ready for yours. I love your questions. Okay. What's the number one sign that a guy is a narcissist?
There you go. As bad as it sounds, I was excited for that one, and it goes back. I use the term fluff, fluff, woo, woo because there are a lot of people that don't know what love bombing is. So for the people that know what love bombing is, the first telltale sign is love bombing, or what I like to call the fluff, fluff, woo, woo. Now, excuse me. The reason why a narcissist or somebody that is potentially self-centered or on that road to narcissism would do that is because it's part of their agenda. Their agenda is to manipulate you to get their way for their own selfish needs. They will love bomb you. They will give you the fluff, fluff, woo woo till they get their way. And then when they can't get their way, you are the bad person. But I did this for you. But I did this for you. Why don't you do
Hmm.
this for me? And then they got you. They got you hook, line, and sinker, and they know how to get at your heartstrings and in your mind and manipulate the situation. So I would say, number one, ladies and men, whoever's there, that's my dudes, watch for love bombing. If somebody doesn't really know you and they're telling you things about you, that's a red flag. Like anybody can see somebody's physical beauty. Anybody can see that. But when you're pushing the limits and pushing the boundaries and digging into that, there's something wrong with that picture because they don't know you. So I
True.
hope that helps. And that is my answer.
Love it. Thank you so much. I love it. Okay. Um, are you going next?
Yes. Did you have something that you wanted to add to that too? Or I like
Well,
when you get your feedback back in there. I like that.
um, it's so interesting because what's the number one sign that a person's a narcissist? I feel like you can, okay, let's just back up really quick because I go like, you know what I mean? And I say so many things and I go off on a tangent. Um, I feel like you can see it even in the conversation or like the text conversation.
Right.
And so I urge whoever's in here also, like when you get that feeling, you know, what's the number one sign that a person's a narcissist? The number one sign is your body will send a sign. That's my that's my perspective.
God is
And
never
I feel
wrong.
and I feel like if we would all just be a little bit more aware, take a little bit more time and pay attention, what just happened to my body? Because something happens and what happens is your body's just telling you like, "Hey, that was weird," or "that was uncool." You know what I mean? And so if we did that, we would know that is probably a sign that something is not okay, aka narcissistic.
100%. And I'm
Yeah.
glad you added to that because that gut, that connection is never
Hmm.
wrong and you never go against it. If it feels icky, it is icky and that's your body communicating with you. That is a great point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So now on to your number three. All right. So this one is probably going to be a little bit longer and in depth for you. What are solid boundaries that you suggest or that you may have created for yourself that help ensure that your power will not be taken from you?
This is kind of a long one. And I can't see what you can see. I can't see if anyone is typing anything. But I want the viewers that are watching right now to understand something. I come off kind of like some kind of badass that nothing bothers me, nothing hurts me. And you know, I'm at that point where pretty much a lot of things don't bother me. I'm not really rattled. However, that wasn't always the case. And so,
Right.
what I want you guys to remember and understand, because I think some of you might be there or have been there, when that person is blowing up your phone, and I'm talking not two phone calls, I'm talking 25, 30, 50, 100 calls, texts, okay? What happens is it's unnerving your nervous system. It's getting
Right.
hijacked. Okay. So what I did not realize back then was like I had the power to silence my phone. And you're like, what? Yeah, but it wasn't that easy. Okay. So that's the number one thing, because even for people that are not dealing with narcissists, I see it all day long. When your phone is ringing and you cannot answer the phone because you're busy or you have another thing, task, or goal that you have to take care of, or your friend sent you a text, I think our natural instinct is we have to text back right away. We don't. No one's going to die. It's going to be okay, unless it's an emergency. So the first, I think, solid boundary that we can all make is you don't have to respond to every text that comes through, to every phone call that comes through, if that is not the time that you meant to answer it, right? And I think like if you're going to go do something, you can put your phone on silence, you can put it on airport, whatever, it's airplane mode, and you can go do your own thing. No one's going to say anything about it. The number two thing that I wrote down about having solid boundaries and staying in your power. That's what I think the main thing I was trying to be with, right? Was when you're being disrespected, whether it's live in person or on the phone, make it known that you will be hanging up, or make it known that you will leave, and you leave. That's it.
Boundary.
And
Yep.
yeah, so you're not going to sit there and discuss and negotiate and renegotiate and have this person renegotiate your own boundaries. You're just going to leave. The other thing is people need to stop taking things personally, because when you take things personally, you're giving away your power. But we all want to feel special, but like we're not that special. It's really not about me. The way a person is treating me has nothing to do with me. It has to do with them. So the moment that you can recognize that, you're going to be unbothered and you're going to be settled and you're going to remain in your power. But if you keep thinking that everybody's out to get you and attack you and it's about you, you're giving them all your power. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
So the other thing to stay in your power, and I know this is not popular, but defiant self-care must become a reality. Okay? So everybody in your life does not become number one and you become last. You need to be number one. You need to tend to you. You need to make sure that you feel good so that you can be a good mom, a good wife, a good girlfriend, a good worker, whatever it is. You need to practice defiant self-care. Defiant, because society has conditioned women to think that it's very selfish to go do things for yourself. But if you're not going to be feeling good, nobody else around you will either. That for me is staying in my power. Okay. And then other things that make me stay in my power, but you know, as you grow, right, into your self-worth, you get to different stages. So these are the first ones. And then what I want people to recognize is to live life on your own terms. You stay in your power that way. So when you live life on your own terms, you're doing what you ultimately want to do. So you cannot be wrong if it's you that wants to do what you're doing, right? But if you're living life on somebody else's terms, you're going to be powerless. You're going to be always just releasing power to different people. And I don't know why I wrote this, but I'm going to say it.
You're good.
Haters are always going to hate on people that are doing better than they are. And yeah, and so you have to know that, and you have to, again, don't take it personally, right? Which was, I don't know what that was, number 2 or 3, but don't take it personally. It has nothing to do with you. The only thing is you are triggering that person to feel that they possibly could do what you're doing, but they're not actually doing it. So that's all you're doing. You're triggering those things. And so knowing about the haters and staying in your own power, because if you let the haters, right, persuade you and you go into start believing them, you're giving away your power. So it's all of those things. It's like a physical power, but an emotional power. And I feel like all of those things will always keep you in your own power. Mm-hmm. I probably could go on and on, but you know, I really want the people that are here, I really want to answer their questions too. So I'm excited for what they have to ask. Okay. Let me go to number 4, right? Or did you want to add?
Yeah, I'm going to add a little bit of
Yes.
feedback on that because I think
Yes.
your answer was phenomenal. And I think most of the people in here, if not all of them, were just super thumbs up on that. The only thing I want to add to, which by the way, those responses, the only thing I want to add to is the texting. So for me, because I'll gracefully bow out. There have been times where here's my idea on a text message. Now, granted, the way you're looking at it is, hey, I don't want to be at the mercy of my cell phone, and most people don't. So that's good that you draw that thick boundary. For me, I look at it just a little differently, just because I'm in business development. My phone's attached to me at the hip. I'm trying to help other people. My thing is this: you transition a lot during the day. You got to go to the bathroom. You got to get up to do things. It takes 2 seconds to respond to a text to be like, hey, I just want to acknowledge you, or I got your text. I'm super busy. We can chat later today. That is a me thing. And that's something that a boundary that I draw, as where somebody might take that the other way. Like you are saying you don't want to be a prisoner to your phone. As where
Hmm.
for me, I always try to respond just because that's what I would want back. I want somebody to say to me, hey, Brandon, I respect you. I acknowledge you. I'm super busy. I will get back to you later today. And I'm cool with that. I back off. I'm cool. But that's just something I wanted to add that I do. So I'm not, 100% on board with the always ignoring the text messages. But your perspective is not being a prisoner to your phone. Anyway, that was my ad. That was it.
Like, I see what you're saying, but like there's times where I'm at work and I'm tied up for hours. So I can't, that doesn't work.
Right.
So I think like you'll do that to maybe like somebody who needs that answer, but I feel like most people don't need an immediate answer. But I totally see your point. Completely see your point. But also I feel like when we can share that with people and we can give them that space where there's nothing happening, I feel like it also promotes growth from their end too. It's growth
Right.
on both
Patience.
ends.
Patience.
Patience, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And then they understand that other things are happening in this person's world and their life, and they'll get
Right.
back to me. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But I understand what you're saying completely.
Yeah, I just want to throw it because I've done that, and I'm like, hey, I'm not trying to be a disrespectful a-hole. I just want to know that you saw my text and you're gonna, you know what I mean? Anyway, you get
I
it.
get it. Yeah, I get it.
We're cool.
Okay. This is a very good one.
They're all
What
good.
do men want women to know?
Yep. Yep. So as we all know, men are very egotistical. Okay. So most men, and I use the word most, I don't like using blanket statements. I don't like saying all. Most men want that ego stroked. So most men will only let women know what they want them to know, that's going to make them feel bigger and better about themselves and the value that they think they could potentially bring to you. So a lot of men are, hey, I make this amount of money each year. I'm going to let you know that, but I don't want you to know that maybe I do make that money by being a crooked person. Or
Mm,
hey, I have all these homes, but I'm shady. They're only going to want to let you know those things to get their ego stroked. Now, again, when I say most, if a man is a true alpha and in his power, he will really reveal his heart to you because he wants to see your heart. So
mhm.
that's my answer to that. That's from my experience, from what I know about coaching and mentoring, what I know about the masculine psyche. That is what most men will want women to know in the beginning. So that's the sobering reality. I spit it straight, and I don't sugarcoat.
So basically, men will pick and choose what they want women to know. So
Absolutely,
it's
to
so
make
it's con
themselves
it's yeah, so it's contingent on the female that he is with.
correct.
Yes?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So women are kind of different.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, women I've noticed as a whole, and this is scary, it is probably gonna like maybe upset some women, but a lot of women, you guys, we're not being honest. We're not being honest with the guys, and the problem is that then you're thinking like, well, once I marry him, then I'm gonna let him know who I
Mm,
am. And then what happens is he's like, who the hell did I just marry? And you can see then how everything can probably start to break down. So I feel like it's just probably in everyone's best interest if we're all, you know, upfront, right? And honest.
which is
But
extremely hard right now, and especially with the
totally.
online. The online dating world is such a fantasy world. Everyone wants to be on their best behavior. They're putting up pictures of themselves that are 10 to 15 years ago just so
Oh
they
my
can.
God, I know.
It's mind boggling. It is mind
Or
boggling.
or they're so like if you've gained that much weight, you have to update your pictures.
Right.
And I just feel like and you know, and everyone has to stop getting salty about like he asked me how much I weigh. He has a right to know that because some men like very tall, lanky women, some men like voluptuous women. Everyone has their own flavor, and we can't get uptight and salty over that kind of stuff, you guys. That's just my
Because
2 cents.
real recognizes real, and here's the thing. So many people complain about, oh, he lied to me, oh, she did this, but what were you doing? Attract like attracts like. The
Like,
more honest in you guys, I'm just going to take it right back to my all-time motto. You can never say the wrong thing to the right person. If they don't like you, let them walk. If they don't find you attractive in person, let them walk. But the more real you are, the more real person is going to find your heart and be more compatible with you long term.
that's
That's
so
it.
true. Yes, that's a good one. I love it. Love it.
All right.
Okay.
So on to your number 4 as we're moving right along here. Question number 4 for you. Why is it so important that you live your life for you and not for others, or allow others into your personal relationships?
Okay. So I kind of touched base on that earlier, but what I'm noticing, you guys, and I can't see everyone that's in here, but to me, it's a very sad reality that most people are not, they're not living authentically. They're not living life on their terms. And whoever is living life on their terms, I can tell you they're being hated on and they're scratching their head like, I don't know what I did to that person and they just really dislike me. And you're sitting over here like, was it that one time that I did that one thing? Or no, but that would not hurt my feelings. Do you know what I'm saying? And you're sitting here and you're beating yourself up, but really that is all that it is. And so all of those people that are not living authentically, they're living life on other people's terms, usually their parents. So what their parents' desires were, which were to probably maybe one of them was to get married and have kids. You're constantly doing things outside of what you want to do. A lot of people are even with, they're married, they're in marriages with people that they don't want to be in marriages with.
Yeah.
They're staying with people because of the kids. They're staying because they don't want to hurt their parents' feelings. I mean, I've heard of
Living
people
for
who are
others.
waiting for their parents to die and then they're going to divorce the people that they're with. And so most of the people, if you pay attention, that are walking around unhappy and miserable, this is why.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are not getting their needs met. And it doesn't have to be just with the people, but it's most likely the relationships, their jobs. They're not doing what they authentically want to do. And remember, I said, if it's what you want to do, you can never be wrong for what you really want to do. You cannot be wrong because you want to do it. And then I think the other one, you said something like allowing other people in your relationship,
Right,
right?
right.
The issue with that is when you start allowing people into your relationship, you're already setting the tone, and it is you who is ultimately inviting them into that relationship. So when they really start to get involved and start to poison your relationship, you want to kick them out, but it takes more effort to do that than it would have if you would have from the very beginning not allowed those people into your relationship. That includes their
Right.
2 cents. That includes don't go to them. That includes don't share these things with them. A couple, and I can tell you, I come from an ethnic background, and that kind of stuff is supremely toxic, okay? So it's like the moms are involved, the dads are involved, aunts, uncles are involved. It's enmeshment, and it's toxic, okay? And then a lot of times you'll see the priest will be talking, before they get married, and he'll have to be on repeat. This is your wife. This is your husband. That's it. You are not to have more people in your relationship. And then even if you're not married, you guys, when you go around gallivanting on social media and you keep posting your stuff,
You're inviting them
you
in.
might you might be supremely happy, and that is phenomenal. But you don't know how many people are jealous, envious, and I believe in bad energy. It exists.
Oh yeah.
So somebody could be looking at you guys and like seething and hatred and jealousy behind the scene, but that is just negative energy. And eventually, you guys, enough bad energy. There's just too much toxicity. That's why, AKA red flags, don't do that. It's just not worth it because people are going to chime in. And when you stop posting those pictures, because that's also a red flag to me, when you keep putting all these pictures of your honeymoon, it's like, where did the honeymooners go? You know what I mean? All of a sudden they go away. And then all of a sudden the people who are like, I'm in a relationship with so and so, it goes away. It goes on silent. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you guys, it's the best. Do whatever you love to do. What do you love to do? Write it down. That is how you're going to live authentically and live in your purpose.
And you're not hurting anyone.
Nope. And you can't disappoint yourself because that's what you want to do.
Well, when you do that too, you truly are living for you, not others. So many people live their life through others. It's disheartening. Do what makes you happy. You're not hurting anyone. Do what makes you happy.
Easier said than done for a lot of people.
It is. It is. So,
like, you know what? I'm just going to add this really quickly.
go ahead.
I'm probably going to do a little video on TikTok, and I'm probably, I don't know, since I'm up, I might go on later on. I had 2 people send me messages to not share with anybody that there were a few of us that went and had an appetizer and 1 drink a few weeks ago in an open space outside. And I said, okay, well, we were outside. So it's not like we were doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Wrong. And she did not want the pressure from her friends or her family. She did not want anyone to know that she was out. And
Right.
that is so sad. That is so sad to me, you guys.
Right.
That is not living in your power.
No, because she couldn't share that joy, and that was a moment past. Alexandra had a question. I'm gonna just flip this over since we're nearing the end right now.
Okay.
She wants to know, are you saying you advise against anything about your life or just with your partner? She wanted to clarify that.
So those are difficult questions. I'm going to tell you why. Everybody's constantly looking for balance, right? Balance with work, balance with family, balance with friends, balance with self. But there is a distinction. There's a distinction with somebody who is constantly putting pictures of them and their new boyfriend. And it goes like this. This is my love.
There's something behind it.
I would be nothing without you.
Right.
You're so amazing. I can't believe I found you. It is too much. The man is on the pedestal or the woman is on the pedestal. You know what I mean? Whoever's doing this. And you're showing not only that person, but you're showing the world that that person's on the pedestal. And that is the red flag. Okay.
Right.
So there's a distinction between if you want to share a picture here or there from your vacation, or I don't know, the 2 of you guys took a really badass picture and you want to share it. I think that's cool. I think that's fair. But there's a line. There's a line.
Yes.
And when you keep doing that, believe it or not, you're showing the world a lot of different things that you're not even talking about. And people are probably talking behind your back like, oh, God, there they are posting that again. Like, please give me a break. You know what I mean?
It's just as bad as dirty laundry. It's just as bad as airing the dirty laundry. Yes, Alexandra, 100%. Alexandra said, like a spam highlight reel. Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Number 5?
Yeah, five to me. This is the final. Yeah. This is the final question for me.
This is the final question. Yeah. And this is a good one. What's the number 1 killer that women do to men to kill the relationship?
So there's actually 2. I've got 2 answers for this because they're kind of one and the same. But it all comes back to control. All right. As men, we are designed to be leaders, most men, because we know about the watered down ones. Most men are meant and designed to be leaders. So when you take control away from a man, when you take his leadership away from a man, that is the number one way for him to disrespect you and for him to not value you at all, is when you take away his control. And I'm not saying control being an arrogant a-hole. I'm saying control of being a natural leader. Let me support you. Let me have a great job. Let me take you out. Let me show you that I'm your protector. Let me protect you. When you take those things away and tell him when and when he can't do it, that's how you kill that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Tying into that is overthinking the trust. So a woman's thought process, as we all know, is completely different than men. And that's a good thing. I always talk about a woman's thought process, and I love it. But it can be detrimental in the fact of taking a small situation and blowing it up to a big situation, because most
Mm.
men are extremely simple. We're a land the plane. Hey, just land the plane. We don't need a reason why. We just want it corrected and fixed. So that is my two-part answer to that question, and I hope that helps.
And would you say that those are emotionally immature women
Yeah,
for the
absolutely.
second part? Yeah.
Absolutely for the most part, but there are
Hmm.
still, I mean, again, I'm 40, and there's still women close to my age, if not older, that are still playing those games, and there's men
Yes.
too.
Yes.
So
And then, so what about the men that have more feminine energy than masculine? Do they also want to have control?
that is a great question, because I also know plenty of men that, I mean, I laugh, and I'm not trying to make fun. I'm not trying to be offensive, but I don't believe a man should be led. I personally believe that a woman should never be a leader in a relationship. That is my personal belief. I'm not trying to be sexist. I'm just saying, by design and by nature, a woman should not have to tell a man what to do. A woman should not have to tell a man, hey, look, dude, take me on a date. Hey, look, look, I want you to be a leader in this relationship. I don't think that that is healthy, in my opinion. So,
Okay, well, see, that's leading all these other questions. Like, what should she do then if the guy's not taking her on a date? I don't
well,
know.
make it clear. So, ladies, stay in your power. I mean, don't be afraid to ask for what you want. Don't demand what you want. Ask for what you want. Hey, look, dude, I know my value. I take my time out for you. And if you have kids, it's like, hey, look, dude, I get a babysitter so I could go
Hmm.
out with you. My time is valuable. Not only do I have to pay for a babysitter, I'm choosing my time to go out with you. You need to respect it and make this date stick. Ask me out so I can get a babysitter and make this real. Like there's a lot of value built in that.
Yeah, we can have a whole nother talk about
A
all
whole
of
other
that
level.
online, a whole nother, yeah. Woo! Because you
You
know what? With quarantine, um, I don't know. I think a lot of people were just going to each other's houses and just hooking up.
Yeah, they were spreading the virus everywhere. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. uh,
Ah, yeah,
uh, all right.
so good.
All right. So, final question for you. And I think when I originally sent it to you, it was a lot longer, but I broke it down just to be a little bit more simplistic. So your last question is, best ways to break emotional abuse or scars from narcissistic behavior. The best way to break away from that.
Okay. Emotional abuse, yes?
Yep.
Emotional abuse, yeah. Okay, so um, here's the thing. When you go to any therapist or coach, most of them will say to you that you will have to leave because here is why. You cannot heal in an unsafe environment. So the environment that is hurting you is not going to be the same one that can heal you. So you don't have safety. So if you're in any relationship where you cannot be yourself and feel safe with your ideas, with your thoughts, with anything, with where you might want to go, if you don't feel safe, and I'm not talking safe even where the man's like complete bully and abuses you. Let's even go more mild, where you know what, you can't go with your friends. That right there is showing you this is not a safe space. Okay. So, But a lot of people still stay in these unsafe spaces. But I do want to make it known that the number one thing is to remove yourself from that unsafe space, okay? The next thing is that you have to link up with a trauma-informed coach or therapist who will assist you in your self-worth recovery. It
Love
cannot be
that.
done alone.
Love
I
that.
know that you can binge watch YouTube videos, TikTok, whatever it is, but you will still need somebody. And I don't want to call it like holding your hand, but in many ways, yes, just to assist you through that transition. And that can help you to also basically show you also that you can do things with a human person in a safe manner. And what you will start to see is when you get to do that thing that hurt you, when you get
Yeah.
to do that again in life and you get to do it different, that is also part of healing. The other thing is, I believe very strongly in community. So
Absolutely.
you either have to find a support group. Your community can be on TikTok. It could be on Instagram. It could be with Mr. Gratitude. It could be with me. It could be with where do you feel like that is your tribe that's going to help you? You have to have some type of community. And some people find their community at the gym. You know what I mean? But you have to have a group that you feel like these are your people. And with these people, you will heal. Okay. Um, the other thing that I'm a huge believer in, you guys, is when somebody is saying really nasty things to you, even if they're not super nasty, your subconscious is paying attention. So I'm a huge, huge advocate of listening at least a couple of minutes, but I want it like in here. So I want you guys to put these in or some kind of headsets where you're listening to positive YouTube videos or you're listening to anything positive, but also listening to the binaural beats, theta waves, all of those things, listening to them are helping your subconscious. Singing and humming is also healing and therapeutic. I don't know if you knew that, and so is dancing. So dancing
Love dancing.
statistically, yes, it actually shows, it is proven that people are happier when they dance. So you don't have to go to the nightclub if you don't want to. You could take a Zumba class. I mean, the gyms were closed for a long time, but you guys, there's stuff online. There's
Dance
stuff
in your
you
living
can
room.
do. Yeah, you could do hip hop. There's so many different things, whatever you love to do. But not only that, go and like reinvent yourself or go find yourself because you will that way. And then the last thing that I want to say is that the issues are in the tissues. The
Mm,
issues are in the tissues.
I
What does
like.
that mean? Trauma is held hostage in your body. So that's one of the reasons that dancing starts to release the trauma. Yoga, you continue to move your body in certain ways, and the way that you're flexing, believe it or not, it starts to release trauma. Lifting weights, kickboxing, all of that stuff, it has to be something physical. It will start to release your trauma. It's proven. And that those are all the ways that we can start to heal our trauma.
That was fantastic. I think out of all the questions, that was the one you were the most passionate about. Like I saw that glow come out in that question. That was awesome. That was
Thank you.
awesome.
I think I'm a big advocate of like I consider myself, the trauma informed person where if
Oh,
I
totally.
talk to somebody, I can boom, whoop, zoom in, right? Because that's what we got to talk about. We don't have
Totally.
to
That
talk about all this other stuff, and that's where therapy and I think coaching is very different. So when I coach, I don't like to waste time. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste your money. We want to, let's get to it. Let's figure it out and let's start, boom, smashing it out and setting our goals.
no, that was fantastic.
Thank you.
All right.
Does,
Well, go ahead.
does anybody have questions about any of that?
Yeah, I'm gonna lean into that in just a second. But first, I
Okay.
want to take the time again to thank you. I mean, it's a Saturday night. You could be doing so many other things, and so could I. But we chose to be here to practice our craft, to join
hmm
together, to be in community, to work on our craft together. So thank you again so much for taking the time out and being with me here. That is fantastic. What I want to do now is I want to allow everyone about 15 minutes to ask questions. I want you to, you said you can't see the questions come through,
I can't see
Anastasia?
the questions, but if you
Okay.
tell me the questions, I mean, if there are any questions specifically geared to me too, I would love to answer them. But thank you so much for having me. I love doing this stuff. Love it.
I'll read a couple of them out. You guys,
Okay.
since there's less of you in here than there usually is on TikTok, it gives me a better opportunity. I'm going to pick apart some of these questions that I think that we could both answer effectively, and I'll
Okay.
hand them off to you. So go ahead. The floor is yours, guys. Take about 15 minutes. Throw up some questions for us, and we're going to answer to the best of our ability here. Go ahead. And thank you all for joining, too, and for the feedback. AJ
Is
Carter.
there feedback, by the way?
There
Is
was some
there any?
feedback coming up. A couple of the ladies tossed up they do kickboxing and dancing, and I know Holly liked your emotional terrorist, and yeah,
Yes.
I thought you could see their responses. I'm sorry. I
No, I
apologize.
can't see anything.
Jamboni77 said you look like Teresa from the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
I don't watch those shows, you guys, so please forgive me. That's not my jam.
We got some hearts coming up showing us love. I appreciate that. All right, so we got about 15 minutes. Go ahead and ask whatever questions you might have from anything that we discussed here tonight, or questions that I typically can't answer on TikTok. Oh, for some reason it's saying we only got a minute and 55 remaining.
All right. Do they time it? That's
Yeah,
weird.
I guess we
Okay.
can only do it for an hour. That's weird.
Okay.
All right, told me he wouldn't make me wait for marriage. 1.5 years later, no ring. Told me he wouldn't make me wait for marriage. I'm trying to understand that question.
But he did. But he did. And that's all you have to know.
Oh, well, there you go.
So that's my 2 cents. What's yours? So now what?
She said, N. Lopez says he has ruined every holiday. Red flags. I mean,
Narcissist classic. They ruin all holidays, all special occasions. You cannot share your victories with them, you guys. You cannot share anything good with them. It's sad.
all right, and no ring, she said. All right, so hold on. We got a minute here. Let
You
me read
answer
this
something.
really quick. What if someone you've been seeing for 3 months texts a lot but never calls, but comes and stays every second weekend? He doesn't have kids. Oh, well, that's kind of interesting. I would question that more. To me, it sounds like there's a double life going on. Maybe a wife, maybe a girlfriend. I would question that more. I would question
Pay
that more.
attention to the patterns. Pay attention to the patterns.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna try and bust through these so quick. Oh, we got 30 seconds left. I have turned into a gym junkie and not only helped me physically. Okay, so some feedback there. Is there an appropriate amount of time, generally speaking, for exclusivity should be established? Honestly, I'm going to throw in my 2 cents really quick. I don't think that there's time. I think whatever you feel in your heart, if you're feeling it and he's not, or have a discussion, see where his heart's at, and that's the appropriateness. I don't think there's a time. I think it's your gut and your heart. What do you think, Anastasia?
I was completely with you. It's contingent on each person. But I want to say bye because I don't want us to get cut off.
Uh-oh.
Thank you for having me.